I'm here at the Licola Wilderness Lodge, about 3 hours northeast of Melbourne, and a great system has been installed here. And I'm going to talk to Peter McKernan from PRM Engineering, who was actually responsible for putting the whole system design together. Welcome, Peter. Thanks for joining us today. The challenges of this design, what did you have to go about in the first place to start this project moving?
Initially, we just had to log how much consumption Licola was using, which turned out to be about 620 kilowatt hours a day. They had a massive kVAR issue on one particular phase, and that turned out to be a faulty pump, which was easy to identify. We also identified the fact that they were using a lot of energy unnecessarily by running wall heaters, 4.8 kilowatt wall heaters, which we later replaced with split systems. So we had a projected saving of about 180 kilowatt hours per day. Unfortunately, when we started installing the air conditioners, they got a bit excited. We added additional air conditioners, and so some of the gains were lost to additional services. But overall, we did reduce their use. We replaced all of their incandescent lighting with LED lighting as well. We initially aimed to meet their average daily consumption, not necessarily their winter consumption. So we put 2 arrays in, a total of 169 kilowatts, some of them facing north-northeast and some of them facing north-northwest.
So we've got 200 metres from the SP Pros to those first Select Suns that we just looked at. So you've got your comms there, then you've got your array up the back of the hill here. That looks like it was pretty challenging. You've got AC cables going up there and you've got comms. First question is, how'd you get your cables up there?
Well, this is something that the boys still talk about a fair bit. One of the hardest jobs we've ever done. We've had to pull 2.5 tonnes of copper up the hill, along with the comms, and then conduit over the top, and then mechanical protection as well.
How long did that take to get up there?
That took about 2 weeks. So
any particular reason that you ran AC up there rather than bringing the DC down, which would have been at higher voltage?
Purely for the voltage reasons. So by running a lower, safer voltage down the hill, we can keep the job safer.
Great. So from start to finish, how long has this job taken?
There'd be about 8 weeks of work in this project. So the longest part of the job was on the hill here, and we had about 12 people on site.
Wow, great. With the 169 kilowatts of panels, I presume this would be an AC coupled system. What inverters did you choose for that and why?
We went with the Select Sun inverters. Because they're made by Selectronic, we knew that their compatibility was 100%, and we had heard that there was a very, very reliable inverter. We ran Cat6 cable from the SP Pro inverters to the Selectronic Select Suns, and that gave us a really good comms link and good ramping control.
So what kind of distance have you got on your Cat6 cable and your DC wiring to your solar panels?
The longest run's 180 metres.
What about then the battery inverters? What have you chosen?
Went with the Selectronic SP Pro, the 120 volt, 20 kilowatt units. We're running those in power chain mode. The good thing about running them in power chain mode is potentially this camp could increase in size, and by using power chain we have the ability to add on further inverters and double our inverter power down the road.
So each battery inverter is 20 kilowatts, is it?
Yes, 60 kilowatts, 3 phase.
Okay. Now I've got to pick you up, Peter. We've got 60 kilowatts of SP Pros here, and you said you had 169 kilowatts of PV?
Yes.
And they're going into what, how many kilowatts of PV?
140 kilowatts of AC coupled.
Okay, so you're over our sort of normal 2-to-1 ratio bit. How's that working out?
We'll put 3 more SP Pros in so that it can handle the 2-to-1 ratio.
Okay, right, so you'll be getting better utilisation out of your...
And also better recharge times, yes.
Yeah, great, okay then.
We chose to go with lead acid batteries for reasons of longevity and also for payback. We ended up putting in 1 megawatt hour total, 2 strings of 500 kilowatt hours each.
And what voltage was that at?
120 volts.
Any particular reason that you really drove towards the lead acid? I mean, lithium is very trendy these days. Why lead acid?
We were cognizant of the issue with black start. Occasionally lithium can be taken beyond the point of no return, and we wanted a very, very reliable system. The weight of the cells wasn't an issue to us because they're stationary batteries, and we know from past experience that we can get at least 20 years out of good gel batteries.
Right.
So the main reason the containers are situated here is because the inverters are right behind it on that wall, and we wanted to keep the battery cable length to a minimum.
So from a point of view of losses to the inverter, but also I guess what, cost of cabling as well?
Definitely, yeah, there's some decent sized cable in there, so keeping the length short definitely kept the cost down. So here we've terminated 3 parallel positives and 3 parallel negatives in one container back to the inverters. The most critical thing here is we've had to make sure that the battery cables between both containers are the exact same length. So there's actually a total of 6 positives and 6 negatives going back to the inverters, because we have 3 parallel cables at 120mm each, which makes it easier than running one giant cable DC back to the inverters.
And I noticed you've got some air conditioning in there as well, trying to keep batteries at the optimal temperatures.
Yeah, definitely. So these batteries actually operate better between 20 and 24 degrees, also for warranty purposes. So.
Does it have much impact on the actual system itself, the fact that you've got an extra load?
No, the power usage here is very small. They're only 3 kilowatt air conditioners, and both of them are, in the scheme of the system, are next to nothing. So,
yeah, okay. So I guess monitoring is pretty important in a system like this. What'd you go with there?
We went with Select Live and an Arvio, and also we used a Lantronics unit. We've got the Select Live for our own purposes so that I can remotely control the system and stay on top of the performance of it. But by using the other 2 systems as well, we're able to offer different levels of education. So Licola is an educational facility in a regard, and this gives them a great graphic display.
So you can actually, wherever you've got internet, wherever you might be in the world,
you can log in,
monitor and look at this system.
See how the whole village is going. We maintained the 80 kilowatt and the 150 kilowatt FG Wilson generators. And the reason we maintained both was we saw that historically Licola has been used as a forward ground for the firefighting, and at times they've used in excess of 1 megawatt hour a day. In a situation like that, we needed to have a capacity to supply their needs no matter what. So we've made the generators run as a cogen system so that the 80 and the 150 can run, and we've even had the situation where we've had 60 kilowatts of contribution from the Selectronic inverters at the same time.
That's an impressive load.
It was.
I guess though, if you're having to feed 1,000 firefighters, etc., that's pretty important that we can handle that sort of thing.
Yes.
So Peter, the system was commissioned November 2019. What have you observed since then? Have you been happy with its performance?
Very happy. Initially we had a couple of teething issues with comms. It took us a little while to work out where they were. Once that was resolved, it's the SP Pros and the Select Suns have performed flawlessly. Unfortunately, we have some old generators in the shed, and just when you need to depend on a backup generator, it goes and blows a fuel injection line or something like that.
Right, yeah. So Peter, can you share some of the financials with us then? So what was the actual budgeted price for the whole system?
The Lions Club told me that they had an outlying budget of about $850,000. When we did the cost estimates, it came in at about $830,000, but the overall project in the end came at $814,000.
And you were showing me before a bit of a split of the cost, roughly out of that $800,000, $86,000 was upgrading heating.
Yes.
A fair whack, nearly 10%.
A lot more than we originally planned, yes.
$327,000 in batteries and inverters, and about $400,000 in PV and inverters. So what would you do differently if you had your time over again? Would you approach it anything different?
I would have liked to have put more battery power in and potentially added another 3 inverters, but we met a budget that the Lions indicated they could afford, and they're talking about a 4-year payback. They said if they got a 7-year payback, they'd go ahead.
And they've got a 4.
And they got a 4.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Just did.